DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Y'all saw what just happened. Just finished watching Game 5, 2020 NBA Finals. Lakers lose 111-108. Miami Heat have sent this series to a Game 6, which would theoretically in a normal year we'll be sending the series back to South Beach. Miami doesn't play in South Beach, but we'll call it South Beach for Game 6. A lot of people thought this was a closeout game. The Lakers wore the Black Mamba jerseys. They allegedly don't lose when they wear the Black Mamba jerseys. That's over with. LeBron in closeout games, they were showing his stats. Well, that's not over with because every game for the rest of the series is a closeout game for him. But they didn't get it done tonight, and it wasn't because of LeBron James. So first of all, let's talk about the winning team, the Miami Heat, and then we'll talk about the losing team, the Lakers. I think I got more to say about the Lakers than I had to say about the Heat. So first of all, the Heat came out and did their thing. Looking at their 7, they only played 7 people tonight. They did not mess around with their rotation. So a couple guys that we saw earlier in this series. Well, Myers Leonard, he only played because Bam was hurt, but Bam's back, so Myers Leonard's back on the bench. Kelly Olynyk had been getting minutes. He did not play at all tonight. Only people who played off the bench were Kendrick Nunn and Iguodala. Now, Iguodala didn't even score, but he did grab 6 rebounds, and he gave 5 fouls, grabbed 6 rebounds. He's basically in there because of his basketball IQ, and he's going to be in the right place at the right time, but he's not really skill-wise. I don't even know what the word is. Not even skill. Not that he doesn't have skill. It's just it ain't that much stat-wise he's going to give you. And at some point, you need somebody who can put the ball in the basket. Everybody else who played tonight for the Heat scored in double figures. So even Jay Crowder with 11 points, 3 rebounds. Tyler Hero had 12 points off the bench. He wasn't making many of his shots. He was only 4 of 11. But he's a threat. He can make shots off the bounce. He can create a little bit off the dribble. Bam only had 13, 4, and 4. He's obviously not 100%, but he's better than anybody else that he could have playing at the center position. So even Bam at, let's say, 65% of normal Bam is still better than anybody else that he has. Again, Jay Crowder, he knows his role. He played 40 minutes tonight. I didn't really feel his 40 minutes, but he doesn't take anything off the table. So Jay Crowder's one of those guys that don't make you worse. He doesn't really do a lot to make the team that much better, but he's not going to make you worse, which is a compliment as long as he's on the right team. Don't put him on a team asking him to carry you. And, of course, we'll get to Jimmy Butler in a minute. Duncan Robinson, he finally got loose tonight. Now, he ain't gotten loose in a minute because teams have been keying on this guy. They know what he does. Best 3-point shooting percentage, I think, off the catch all season in the NBA this year. And he hadn't been able to get loose. The teams have been all over him. And tonight, the Lakers, for whatever reason, fell asleep on D. Had they not fallen asleep on Duncan Robinson, the Lakers would be celebrating the championship right now. And this video, we'd be talking about LeBron's legacy against Jordan and Kobe, et cetera, et cetera. But for whatever reason, the Lakers got lazy guarding Duncan Robinson for the first time in 5 games. And you see what happens. 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for Duncan Robinson, 8 for 15 from the floor, 7 for 13 for 3. So Duncan Robinson is not much of a finisher anywhere inside that 3-point arc. He doesn't even try. He was only 1 for 2 inside of the 3-point arc. He was 7 for 13 from 3. So what the hell the Heat were doing this game? Well, we know what they were doing. We're going to get to that in a minute. But Duncan Robinson was pretty much the difference in this game. Because he's the one guy who was not scoring like this. All of a sudden had this type of game in the finals. Had this not happened, just this one thing, the Lakers would have won the championship tonight. And Jimmy Butler had another great game, an even greater game. This is closer to what he did in game 3 when they were down 2-0. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals, 1 block, 11 of 19 from the floor. Made all 12 of his free throws. Only 3 turnovers, 2 fouls, a +5 overall. Jimmy Butler carried them tonight. Jimmy Butler proved that he is a star in this league. I think maybe we could even say superstar in this league. When they need him to put points on the board, it's usually when we say superstar, we're talking about a guy who scores a lot of points. And Jimmy's not a big points guy. He can score, but he's not a big points guy. But tonight they needed it, and Jimmy Butler delivered. And as I said, when they Heat won Game 3, the only way they're going to win this series is Jimmy Butler will have to exhaust himself in scoring, unless they have Goran Dragic, who knows if he's coming back in the series. I doubt that he's going to play at all in the rest of this NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler's going to have to do this. And even if Dragic does come back, he's not going to be 100% either. And I don't think he's that much of an upgrade over anybody else who is playing here. So he's just going to have to do his thing and dominate the way that he did. A guy I forgot to mention, Kendrick Nunn. So Tyler Hero didn't come off the bench. Hero started. Kendrick Nunn came off the bench. And he actually made some shots. He wasn't making anything in the finals. So Kendrick Nunn and Duncan Robinson combined for 40 points tonight. That's your whole series right there. Up to this point, those guys were combining for like 15 because Duncan's getting like 8 to 12 points, and Kendrick Nunn wasn't making anything. But all of a sudden, he's making shots. He shot 6 for 11 tonight, made 2 or 3 from deep. And then Duncan with the 26. They got 40 points from these two guys. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of this series. I said this on Twitter, that the Miami Heat's role players, or everyone other than, let's say, Bam and Jimmy Butler, I guess maybe you could say Dragic. I think Dragic was an all-star once. Everyone else on this team, I think they are better to a man than who the Lakers have, other than LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now, I'm not saying if we go skill for skill that maybe you can't make an argument for some Lakers guys. But overall, on this team, with what they're asked to do on this team, everyone who plays for the Miami Heat will make a play, will make an open shot, is ready to play their role. They know their role, and they're performing in their role. And on the other side of the ball tonight for the Lakers, that is absolutely what did not happen. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Jimmy Butler, one more time. He only sat out 49 seconds of the game. He played 47 minutes, 11 seconds. Nobody else on the Heat even played 40 minutes. Everyone else was at 39, right below 40 minutes. 35, 12, and 11, 5 steals. Y'all believe the Sixers let this guy walk as a free agent? My hometown Sixers let Jimmy Butler walk as a free agent so they could sign Tobias Harris and Al Horford to a free agent contract. So you tell me. So I think it's some people celebrating the Miami Heat win. Some people celebrating the Miami Heat win across the street right now. But anyway, let's look at the other side of the ball. The Los Angeles Lakers tonight. First of all, we all know that the two best players on their team are LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We know that those guys are going to dominate, and they've been dominant all year. They're within one winning the NBA championship, and they got 2 more opportunities to still do that. All they need is for 1 or 2 of their role players. I said this before. All they need is 1 or 2 of their role players to get like 15 points in a game, and they win. Because LeBron and AD are going to do what they do every night. That's why they're superstars. They do it every night, no matter what. They just need. Then tonight they did it. AD had 28 to 12, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, and it doesn't even look like he was 100%. He was hobbled a little bit after he hurt his foot or whatever that was he hurt earlier in the game. Shot 9 for 15 from the floor. He didn't take enough shots. He should have shot the ball more. Made all his free throws. 2 of 5 from 3. He was a +7 overall. Only had 2 turnovers. AD had a great game. 28, 12, 3, 3, and 3 is a great game. That's a superstar stat line. Even though, it felt like he was out there doing his thing, but LeBron kind of stole the show for the Lakers. LeBron, 40 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. LeBron had it. This is the type of LeBron stat line that he usually has. He would have had more assists had some of his teammates made some goddamn shots. He should have had a triple-double. It's not his fault. He was making the right passes. Dudes were just missing. LeBron was 15 of 21 from the floor. He was not missing. 4 of 6 from the line, 6 of 9 from deep. Honestly, if I had to give a criticism of LeBron tonight, I would say he didn't shoot the ball enough. Now, if I was Skip Baylessing LeBron James tonight, I would say he should have shot the ball more. He was 15 of 21 and 6 of 9 from 3. All right, then that should have been, he should have shot the ball 30 times. Instead of passing it to Danny Green and KCP and Kyle Kuzma, who all of them failed him down the stretch tonight, had any one of them made one shot at certain points, the Lakers will be celebrating the championship right now. That didn't happen. LeBron was overall +7. AD was a +7. Let's look at the rest of the lineup tonight. Dwight Howard, I already told y'all, he's a nominal starter. He's a quote-unquote starter. He plays the first quarter, and he doesn't play the rest of the game. Happened again tonight. He played a little bit in the second quarter. 15 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds. He started a little skirmish with Jimmy Butler, and that's all he did. That's what Dwight Howard does these days. Who else was of note on this team tonight? Let's talk about the people. Let's talk about KCP, who actually had a good game. He had 16. Now, all the Lakers need, any game, is for somebody else to get like 12. That's it. Somebody else gets 12 along with KCP's 16. That's about 30 points from those bench guys. That's it. That's all they need, and they win. Danny Green had 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 of 8 from the floor, 2 for 5 from 3. He was a +12 overall, Danny Green, but we all saw that 3 he had wide open at the top of the key. He makes that shot. The Lakers are celebrating the championship right now. There's a couple other shots Danny Green missed, and KCP, even though he did have this good offensive game here, 6 for 15 from the floor. That's not that great, only 40% shooting from the floor. 3 of 8 from 3. He was a net 0 when it came to plus-minus. He had some defensive lapses where Duncan Robinson, some of that 26, that went to you, KCP. So we're looking at you on that one. Kyle Kuzma, 7 points, 1 rebound, nothing else. 3 of 10 from the floor. Overall, -17 tonight for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma had a terrible game. Not only was he missing shots going 3 for 10, I think twice he fouled Duncan Robinson on 3-point shots. jumping at a three-point shooter, fouling him when Duncan Robinson was going straight up off the stop on the dime, and Kyle Kuzma jumped into him, and then jumping around looking at the ref like he couldn't believe it was called a foul. All right, that kind of lack of defensive discipline after a whole season playing. Now, I know there's nobody else in the league like Duncan Robinson, but those kind of defensive lapses are the reason why we're going to a Game 6 right now. Kyle Kuzma, a couple of those, that 26 that Duncan Robinson had, we could chalk that up to KCP and Kyle Kuzma. He scored basically all his points on those two guys whenever they either got caught laps, not paying attention, or fouling the shooter. This happened multiple times in this game, both of those guys, and this is a game that Kyle Kuzma will want to forget. 22 minutes, 7 points. He had 1 rebound, no assists, no steals. He had 1 block. He shot the ball 10 times, so he was obviously active, just not making anything. 0-4 from 3 and a -17 overall. He had the worst plus-minus of anybody who participated in the game tonight. This was the worst game Kyle Kuzma could have played at the worst time. Rajon Rondo, another guy who I've complimented for being a guy who's all over the court. He was again tonight. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, but he was only 1 of 7 from the floor. Not good. 0 of 3 from deep, also not good. He was a -13 tonight. So this is not a good night for Rajon Rondo either. So both Kuzma and Rondo combined for a -30, combined to shoot overall 2 for 10 from three-point line. No, not 2 for 10 from three-point. 2 for 10 overall. 1 for 5 from 3, and overall, no, I'm looking at Kuzma. All right, overall between Rondo and Kuzma, 4 for 17 from 3, 0 for 7, and plus-minus net -30. Those two guys are pretty much the reason why the Lakers lost, and Kendrick Nunn and Duncan Robinson finally waking up and making shots are the reason that the Heat won. You take either one of those away and just make it neutral, make it average to what they've been doing in the series, we got a whole different outcome here tonight, but that's why the game is a game. That's why we play the game. So we talked about Danny Green, missed open shots down the stretch. He makes one of them, Lakers win. KCP, he was making shots. I said on Twitter, the Lakers need one of their role players to make about 2 or 3 big shots down the stretch. That's all they needed. As soon as I said that, KCP hit a 3. Then a few minutes later, KCP made a layup. And I'm like, all right, they need one more. They need one more bucket from a role player. The Lakers are going to win tonight. They didn't get it. LeBron got doubled on that last drive when everybody knew he was getting the ball. Jimmy Butler's on him. He gets a step on Jimmy, but he didn't have enough to get a shot off. He could have shot it anyway. He could have shot it over top of Jimmy and just forced it up, a la Kobe, a la Michael Jordan. But LeBron passed to the open man. Danny Green was wide open. Danny Green's reputation as a three-point shooter and defensive stopper. That's his rep. If he can't do that, what's he on the court for? Danny Green wide open. Chance to win the championship. Missed the shot. That was the game right there where he missed the shot. Actually, that wasn't the game because the Lakers got the rebound. Markeith Morris got the rebound. I don't know what the hell that was he did with the ball. Did y'all see that play? Markeith Morris gets the rebound, and I think he tried to throw a lob pass to Anthony Davis under the basket that I don't think AD thought that pass was coming. The ball just went straight out of bounds. So it looked like it might have been a shot, and then it looked like a pass. Either way, nobody touched the ball, went straight out of bounds. When Markeith Morris had the ball, Danny Green was wide open behind the three-point line right behind him. He could have gave Danny Green 2 for $1. All right, shoot another three-pointer. You missed the last one. This one's wide open too. Let's see if you missed 2 in a row. Markeith Morris, I don't think he was even aware of Danny Green there, or he just didn't want to pass it. Who knows? It was a bang bang play. He had to make a decision. He throws the ball out of bounds. That's pretty much the game. All right, this is what I said when I said the Lakers role players are. One of these guys got to make a play. For the Lakers to win the championship, one of these guys is going to have to make a big shot or make a big play in a big moment, either in Game 6 or Game 7. There's only a max 2 more games left in this series. Somebody got to make a shot. And tonight, LeBron and AD combined for 68 points, 25 rebounds, 10 assists, 6 steals, 3 blocks. They only missed 12 of their 36 shot from the floor. So they were 24 of 36 from the floor. 12 for 14 from the free throw line, and 8 for 14 from three-point line. These guys are total plus 14, 6 turnovers between the two of them. They dominated. They did what you would expect them to do. This is a Kobe, Shaq, Pippen, Jordan, Curry, KD stat line. They did what they were supposed to do. Nobody else on the Lakers showed up. Now, KCP, again, he has 16 points, but he made some mistakes on defense, and he missed some shots down the stretch. He shot an air ball down the stretch. Anthony Davis caught the air ball and laid it in for a layup. He shot an air ball 3 when he was open. This is the type of stuff that happens with these kind of players, and now the Lakers are the collar is getting a little tight now. Now the Heat have a little bit more confidence. Like, all right, they pulled out those Mamba jerseys. They had the trophy out there ready to celebrate just in case they won. All right, now we took that shot. Now we beat them. Now we putting the pressure on the Lakers, because now the Lakers know, the Heat know that the Lakers know that the Heat win Game 6. Now is a Game 7 and is winner take all. Now is all chips on the table, and whoever wins, wins. Now the pressure's on. As far as the Lakers go as far as the Heat go, I already said what I need to say about the Heat. Duncan Robinson is going to need to keep making shots. They're going to need the Lakers to keep lapsing on defense. The Lakers will need to tighten back up on D like they did the first 4 games of this series when they had Duncan Robinson pretty much bottled up. Don't put Kyle Kuzma on him, because he does not have defensive discipline. He gave up a good number of those points here tonight, and KCP just needs to wake up. He had a couple times where he just got caught sleeping, and Duncan Robinson ended up hitting the 3. They change that, they win. Jimmy Butler needs to do what he did again. I know he's only going to get 1 day of rest. He needs to do this all over again. That's the only way that he have a chance. He must be dominant offensively and very aggressive offensively. Everybody else on the Heat did what they normally do. So there's nothing else that the Heat need to do. They just need Jimmy to have this Herculean effort. For the Lakers side, if LeBron's hot like this, like he was this game, shoot the ball more. Shoot it more. 15 to 21 from the floor. You're not missing. 6 of 9 for 3. You're not missing. Keep shooting. Don't pass the ball to Danny Green or KCP. Just force up a shot if you got to. But the guy was making shots. Hopefully Anthony Davis is fully healthy. If he is not, the Lakers are in trouble. If Anthony Davis is not fully healthy and he can't go like 100% on Sunday night, the Lakers in trouble, because LeBron, without a whole Anthony Davis and this supporting cast against Miami and that supporting cast, LeBron's at a disadvantage. Now, LeBron's still going to do LeBron things, but there's only so much LeBron's going to be able to do in a finals game with this roster against that Heat team, who I think, again, top to bottom in accumulation has a better team than the LA Lakers have. Doesn't mean the Heat's going to win, but I think they have a better overall team looking at going deeper into their rotation. They're only playing 7 guys. The Lakers are only playing 5, 6, 7. The Lakers are playing 9 guys. So they play Kuzma, Rondo, Caruso, and Markeith Morris. So I forgot to mention Markeith Morris tonight. And Alex Caruso, rather, in the lineup tonight. We might as well call him Adam, because neither one of them did anything tonight. Caruso was 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 for 3 from the floor, overall -6. I don't remember him being on the court. I don't remember him doing actually anything. Markeith Morris, this was a terrible game. This is a game that he wants to forget. He played 22 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. It's damn near half of the game. He did not score a basket. He grabbed 1 rebound, no assists, no steals, no blocks, 0 of 2 from the floor. He had 3 turnovers and committed 4 fouls. All right, this is the kind of game that Markeith Morris, you want to take this one and throw it in the furnace and burn it. Markeith Morris and Kyle Kuzma both had their worst game of probably the whole postseason tonight at the exact same time. All right, so it was a confluence of events happened. Good for Miami, bad for LA, and it was still only a 3-point game in the end. We'll see what happens in Game 6, because when these games get tight like this, when it comes down the stretch, the last 5 minutes of a closeout game to win a championship, Danny Green's shots coming up short, KCP's shots coming up short, Markeith Morris did not want the ball, Alex Caruso wasn't doing anything, Kyle Kuzma's having defensive lapses. All right, who you going to get the ball to? Somebody got to want the ball. Somebody got to do something with that ball. LeBron and AD, if I was talking to LeBron right now, I'd say, dudes, don't pass the ball to them dudes in Game 6. All right, pass it to them in the first 3 quarters. In the 4th quarter, forget it, man. You got to take over. You the man. You want that ring. You chasing Jordan. You want the legacy. All right, you got to take these shots. All right, forget passing the ball to these dudes. Do what you got. What would Kobe do? All right, you got the Kobe jersey on. What would Kobe do in this situation? He ain't passing the ball to these guys. They keep missing these shots. You got to take the shot. Whatever you got to do, you do it. You and Anthony Davis, y'all figure the shit out. Y'all text. Y'all go to each other's room in the bubble, and y'all figure the shit out. But y'all can't be passing the ball to these cats. Miami, do what you did last game. Do the same thing. Everybody does what they do. All they need is for the Lakers to have LeBron, being this team guy, passing the ball to these role players who don't want these shots when it gets tight. They want them in the first 3 quarters, but the 4th quarter, y'all saw the game. Am I making this up? If I'm wrong, you let me know. So that's what I saw in Game 5 tonight. That's my prognosis for Game 6. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and we'll see what happens. Sunday night, we're coming back to South Beach. Work on your game. Dre all day.